Hey everybody, thanks for joining us back out here at the Range Report. And in our what seems like everlasting quest to find a small enough pistol to conceal with a high enough capacity to keep us happy, we've gone through the whole gamut. Now, one of the guns that we've settled on lately to be our most recent carry has been the Sig Sauer 365 XL. And, you know, we dabbled in a couple of other things and found a couple of real clunkers like the Rock Island BBR 3.1. 10 stack, double stack 1911, so it's like a 2011, but super micro compact that I could barely get two fingers on. The gun doesn't run worth a damn. You get maybe a couple of shots out of it before it stovepipes, it jams up. It's just not that great. The reason why we were looking for one of these is because of my better half. She refuses to carry anything that's polymer. She wants an all-metal frame gun, and something that she's going to be comfortable with that meets all the criteria of high capacity, double stack. She wanted 45, but let's face it, the options for something in the compact market are really, really, really limited. But then out of the blue, Smith and Wesson decided that they were going to debut this, the Smith and Wesson CSX. It's a double stack 9mm hammer fired gun, very reminiscent of a micro 1911. Now, what's really nice about this gun is that it works. Yeah. To find a gun, we actually went and rented one before we decided to commit to buy one of them because we wanted to see how it performs. And lo and behold, this is actually one of the rare occurrences where the gun surpassed our expectations. Now, let me tell you a little bit about it. It's an all aluminum frame steel slide. You got some really nice sights. They're not luminescent or anything. It's just a nice 3-dot sight package. You know, 3 red dots, 3 white dots. That's it. They're both drift adjustable. They're not height adjustable. But your rear sight's got a nice little cocking shelf on it. You got a sight hole indicator there to tell if you got one in the chamber. And it's truly an ambidextrous gun. The thumb safety is left and right, as well as the slide slap slide release, both ambidextrous. Has a reversible mag catch on it. It's not, you don't reverse this one, you actually swap it with one that they include. Gun comes with a couple of different backstraps, so if you want to have it swell a little bit more or less in your hand, you have the option. Usable serrations. It's got a serrated top on the top of the slide, so it helps cut out on a little bit of the glare. And what I found to be kind of nice is the fact that you can put it in safe mode before you load it with the safety still engaged. Now, generally we're not a big fan of safeties, but this is sort of a 1911-ish. It's kind of a micro 2011-ish. It's kind of like a hyena. It's not quite a cat, it's not quite a dog. We really don't kind of know what it is. It kind of fits in its own little niche. But what it does very well. Now, in its current configuration with the flush cut magazine, if I'm holding this, I'm getting two fingers on it. But what's nice is that it has the aluminum frame, so it kind of mitigates the recoil a little bit more than a polymer the same size would be. The 12-round magazine, I get 3-finger contact, well, 2.5-finger contact on it, but it's still enough for me. Now, with hands the size of mine, to be able to get that kind of contact on it, I'd say is a plus. Now, when I fired the test demo, the rental model was actually pulling 6-inch groups from 21 feet with it, which is pretty decent considering you got such a short sight radius on it. The only real complaint that I have with the gun, well, there's two. One is not my complaint, but it's one that I've seen, and that's the dingus on the trigger. We've had a couple of reviews that we've seen that said in order to get your follow-up shots, you have to take your finger completely off the trigger for the follow-up. Now, we didn't necessarily find that to be the case. Now, maybe that was the experience of a couple other people that reviewed it. Maybe that was the particular gun in question. This one, we haven't had that problem. It's got a 6.5-pound trigger pull. It's not straight back like a 1911, like what you would imagine it would be. It is a hinge trigger. It does have the dingus on it. It's not the most crisp trigger. It doesn't have the shortest reset, but for what it is, it's pretty damn good. The only other real complaint that we have is the takedown procedures. Now we're going to do a follow-up video on the takedown of this gun, but if you're familiar with the 1911, you have to slide your slide back to that one little position, push through your release pin, pull it all the way out. You know, be careful not to get your idiot marks and all the rest of that. Well, this is very similar. However, the problem is the little button that you would push on the other side is integrated into the slide stop release for the left-handed position, so it's flush. In order to get that pin out, you need to use a punch or a drift to do it. That's not that bad, but the problem is you have to bring this back to a very, very, very specific, and I mean specific location. You can't be off with this for a hair, and then you have to be able to punch that through. Well, if you're trying to navigate that with two hands, it's a little bit difficult. I would really like to see Smith and Wesson put a witness mark or something on the left side, on the right side of the gun, so that if you were to take it back, you would know that you were lined up properly and then punch it through. Now, we found that as close as you can get that would be to line the slide up right here with the cutout on the front of the frame, and that would allow you to push it through. But it would be nice if they had a little indicator there that said, you know, like a takedown position. But that's, I mean, that's being really nitpicky about it. But for now, what we're going to do, we're going to run a few rounds through it. Now, the magazines don't leave any room in them at all once you top them off. So if you were somebody who likes to keep one in the chamber and then load your magazine, you're really going to have to slam that bad boy home in order to get it to lock. So suggestion, keep the chamber empty, load a magazine, rack it, and then put one, you know, top your magazine off later on. What is nice is the fact that your safety remains engaged as you run the slide. So in that brief moment when you put your magazine in and you rack it in order to, you know, chamber it off, your gun is unsafe. So you have those people that, you know, have that little 1911 worry about for that split second, you know, the gun isn't in safe mode. So, well, this one, you don't have that problem. So right now we're going to run a few rounds through it. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to throw the 12 rounder in it. You can see, I mean, you gotta, if that slide is back, you gotta slam it in. So slide back when you load it, safety on. Drop it, safety still engaged, you're good to go. Bring it up to target, drop your safety, and throw some lead. Now, right now I'm throwing a little bit over top, and unfortunately I also neglected to put my ears on. So, chalk one up for stupidity. I'm going to throw my ears on, take a few more shots. Alright, now that I just rendered myself even more deaf than I was already, ears are back on, safety first. Again, that was my negligence. I just took my earbuds out just before I started talking to the camera, and I forgot to put these back on. My fault. Don't do it. Don't be an idiot. Save your hearing. So again, I'm going to take a few more shots. Just to let you know, we're running Tula 115s steel case ammo in here for FMJs. We figure if it'll eat the crap, it should be able to eat the good stuff. We're actually going to run some Lawman hollow points through this thing and see how well they feed as well. But for now, I'm just going to finish off this mag, load another one, then we'll get some hollow points through it. I can barely see the marks, if at all. I can't hear the ringing right now because my ears are still ringing. So whether I'm hitting or not, hopefully it comes out on video. Right now I can't hear a damn thing, but I'm going to run another 10 through, see how, if I hit anything. I think right now I think my point of aim is probably a little bit lower than where I'm hitting. So I'm going to try and adjust my shots a little bit and see how it goes. Yeah, I definitely have to pull the shots over, so I'll load another couple of steel case in there, see if I can't hit anything with it. Like I said, new gun. These are the first shots I've run through it, so it's going to take me a little bit to get accustomed to it. The one in the rental shop had been abused already for just the few weeks that it's been out. They already had adjusted the sights. I'm going to try this one more time, see if I do any better. All right, to get a better sense of where I'm hitting and where I'm not, I'm going to focus. We have a 24 by 30 steel plate over there. This is about 30 feet away. We're going to give that a shot. I want to see what my shot placement is in regard to my sight picture, and see if I have to make any more adjustments. So hopefully I can hit that thing. All right, my first shot, I aim that dead center, and I put it, the height is fine, but my rounds are going slightly to the left. So I'm going to try same point of aim. Yep. Yeah, so my rounds are going slightly to the left, so I'm going to have to drift accordingly. Yep. Yeah, so all my shots are going slightly to the left, so I'm going to have a little bit of sight adjusting to do on this thing. But the overall feel of the gun is really, really nice. It, unlike the last Smith and Wesson that we reviewed was the M&P Shield 2.0 and 45 ACP. My own grip, I felt that because it's a single stack, the back of it where it meets the web of your hand was just a little too rounded off, a little too sharp, a little too skinny, and it wasn't really the most comfortable to fire. This has got a little bit more of a oval feel to it, so it's not as sharp in the web of your hand. So letting the rounds off with this feels a little bit more comfortable for me. So for a gun that's smaller to be more comfortable than what's almost a duty size 45, it says a lot about the design of it. So I'm gonna run another few rounds. Yeah, what I think is my sight picture, maybe not be my sight picture. Yeah, it seems every shot that I'm pulling is just slightly to the left of where I'm aiming at. But like I said, for functionality, it's pretty damn good. The trigger is, for 6.5 pounds, 6 pounds, it's still crisp. Now I'm just gonna, I want to run one magazine through hollow point, see how she feels, and give an overall assessment from there. I'm gonna run 10 more rounds through this of Lawman 115 grain hollow points, and we'll see how this feeds. A personal protection firearm is not necessarily going to be reliable if you're not going to be able to use defensive ammunition. So we're going to run these, see how she eats them, and go from there. Well, there you go. Feed, fire, and eject. Jacketed hollow points with no problem. They're a little bit snappier. They have a higher velocity to them, but the gun handled it really well. The purchase on it with the extended magazine, like it says, I'm getting 3.5 fingers on that, so I think that's actually pretty decent. I'm going to just zoom on that a little bit. I don't want to aim the gun anywhere but downrange. But like I said, for big hands, if you got a smaller hand, you're looking for something that is gonna, do well for you. You don't like polymer. I got to tell you, the Smith and Wesson CSX. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. It came out of the blue. It's its own animal. It does really well for the $650 price point. It's not necessarily a bargain budget gun, but Like I said, steel guide rod and fully captured spring. It's got every feature that you can want on it. And if you don't like striker-fired guns, you want something hammered, well, there you go. I mean, now if it was a double action, single action, man, maybe that would, have a little bit more pause for getting rid of the trigger dingus. But without that, Smith and Wesson, please nix that. All right, nix the trigger dingus. Put a witness mark on the other side for an easier takedown, and you'll have this thing pretty much wrapped up to exactly where it should be. Whether or not you want to make it optics ready, we'll see what version 2 looks like. But until now, this is Frank from the Range Report signing out. And like I said, you guys be safe and shoot straight. And while you're here, if you can, check out the link below to www.l1f.us. And from there, if you want, you can check out our affiliate link for US Law Shield. If you're carrying one of these, you want to get covered, because you don't want to be in a court without somebody there to defend you. US Law Shield is there to do that. So until then, you guys be safe. Bye.